I think we have some late word just arriving, and I'll interrupt to bring this to you. This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. A widespread investigation of reports from funeral homes, morgues, and hospitals has concluded that the unburied dead are coming back to life and seeking human victims.
Oh my God. Okay. Think. Zombies are real. What do I do? I've been ready. I prepared for this. Yes. All right. Time to kill some zombies. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, that didn't work at all. Hey guys, so the past few weeks I've been moving to this brand new place in Hollywood, so I haven't had much time for video games, but I managed to squeeze in a little bit of video game time this week and was playing The Walking Dead on the PC. It's also out on the Xbox, the PlayStation, and even one of these iPad-y things if you have one of those. But anyways, The Walking Dead is based kind of on the comic, but also on the TV show, mostly on the comic. Zombies, it's point-and-click adventure kind of stuff from people who do that stuff. So, is it any good? Is it worth your money? Even though it's only 2 episodes of the 5 out, is it worth you picking up this game? Well, why don't you shut up and I'll tell you my opinion of The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead is a zombie choose-your-own-adventure survival game where you play as Lee Everett, who's a convicted criminal who's being transported to jail when, oh no, zombies! Lee escapes from the zombies and must now figure out what the hell is going on and try and find a way to get some help. Along the way, he finds a young girl who has no family to speak of and decides to take care of her. He quickly finds himself with a group of survivors trying to take care of this young girl and also hide the fact that he's a murderer. If you've played some of the other Telltale games like Sam & Max or Monkey Island, you'll immediately recognize this sort of gameplay. The game is mostly about walking around trying to solve puzzles, but instead of trying to find the magical cuckoo clock to unlock the ship of dreams or whatever, you're just basically trying to find ways to get around zombies or kill zombies. And along the way, you meet people who can help or hinder you, people who like you, people who are suspicious of you, and people who just outright hate you. One of the real strong points of the game is obviously the dialogue and the characters. There's a variety of different characters that you might perhaps meet in a zombie apocalypse, and they all have differing opinions of you. And while one guy might be really cool and one guy might be a giant asshole, that giant asshole might have, some strength that'll help the group survive in the future, whereas your buddy might just be dead weight. One of the interesting things about the game is that not every decision is life and death. Sometimes you'll have a couple of pieces of food, but you don't have enough for everyone, so do you keep it all for yourself? Do you only give it to certain people? And certain people will react differently based on, the decisions you make. And because this game is broken up into 5 different episodes, these choices actually progress throughout the game. If you choose to save somebody, that person continues on. And if you choose to not give anyone food, then the group might think differently of you as the game progresses. It's an interesting system because it makes you think kind of hard about, do I really want to steal all this food? What will that say about me in the later games? But so far, there doesn't seem to be any just straight up bad ending where it's yep, you didn't take the food, so your guys all starved to death. The end. One of the few problems I have with the game is that the atmosphere of life and death decisions is kind of false at times. For the most part, everyone's going to make it out of this situation, unless it's one of the handful of situations where you have to choose whether somebody lives or dies. And sometimes you don't even have a choice if somebody dies, it's just what side of the argument you're on. So it just seems like there are key moments that have to happen, and then the rest of it is just everyone's going to be okay until those key moments. Obviously, it's a bit unrealistic for me to want this open-world sandbox of decisions where incredibly branching paths that can go on, because no game has ever done that. I would love it if this were the game to finally do it. But if we're just going to judge this game on its merits alone, the decision-making is kind of interesting, because you make a simple choice, I'll do this, and then you get a message, it's Kevin's going to remember you did that, and you're oh god. And when you do have to choose whether or not you want to kill somebody or whether or not you want to help one person over the other, it is kind of oh god, there's no easy answer to this, which is really interesting. So, The Walking Dead, fun game. Feels very much like the Telltale games, the Monkey Island, Sam & Max, Back to the Future feels very much similar to those in the way it controls and the sort of puzzly elements, only the puzzles involve zombies. Like, I have to sneak past all these zombies to get an axe so that I can murder the zombies. And the combat's kind of fun when you get to fight a zombie. It's like you feel like very intense. You're like, taking out one zombie feels very hard, even though you're clicking a button. But it kind of feels a lot more visceral than a lot of other zombie combat, which is great. All the dialogue and the characters are really well written, and it's fun. I wish there was more like choose your own adventure-y elements to it, because there are certain points, usually towards the end, where it's like you have to make a choice. Like this person lives or this person lives. You can't save them both. But that's not throughout the game. There's only like a couple of choices like that, and it feels like the game is really sort of guiding you. It's like okay, you're here, make a choice. Okay, now move along. Like the game really wants you to go from one place to another. There's no real choice. You can't really go, oh screw it, I'm gonna go that way. It's like, no, you can't go that way. You have to go this way. Maybe that'll change in the later games. Maybe obviously because there are 5 episodes and I only have the 2, so maybe it'll change later on. But for what it is, it's a pretty fun game. If you like The Walking Dead, if you like kind of zombie point-and-click adventures, maybe check this one out.